Most people work harder every year, earn more money, and still feel stuck financially. Bills keep rising, savings never seem enough, and true financial freedom feels farther away than ever. But what if the problem isn't your income? It's the system you're following? Here's the shocking truth. Modern financial advice often ignores a powerful blueprint that has been building wealth for thousands of years. Long before stocks, banks, and businesses existed, the Bible revealed principles that still outperform most strategies people use today to make money. And those who apply them don't just survive, they multiply, grow, and build lasting prosperity. If you like our content, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. In this video, you'll discover the biblical secret that connects faith with money, business, and real financial freedom, and how you can start applying it today, no matter where you're starting from. God's order for money, building the right financial foundation. First, God has always worked through order, never through chaos. From the creation of the world in Genesis to the way He instructed Israel to organize their lives, families, and resources, everything followed a divine sequence. The same principle applies to money, business, and the way people make money today. Proverbs 24:27 says, "Prepare your work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after that, build your house." In modern terms, God is saying, build the foundation before enjoying the results. Many people jump into investing, starting businesses, or chasing quick profits without structure, and that's why they struggle financially. A strong financial foundation today looks like having an emergency fund, controlling debt, and understanding cash flow before jumping into risky investments. It's similar to Jesus' parable in Matthew 7 about the wise man who built his house on the rock, not on sand. The rock represents discipline, planning, and obedience to wise principles. For example, before investing in stocks like Apple, Microsoft, or ETFs, such as S&P 500 index funds, a person should first eliminate high-interest credit card debt that drains money every month. Otherwise, it's like pouring water into a leaking bucket. The Bible also emphasizes consistency and small beginnings. Zechariah 4:10 says, "Do not despise these small beginnings." Many people think wealth only comes from huge opportunities, but God often grows money slowly and steadily. Setting aside even $100 a month into investments or reinvesting profits from a small online business can compound over time. Books like The Richest Man in Babylon or The Simple Path to Wealth teach this same timeless principle. Start small, stay consistent, and let growth do the heavy lifting. In today's economy, building a foundation might also mean learning new skills that increase income. Whether it's digital marketing, investing, coding, or starting an e-commerce store. Proverbs 22:29 reminds us that skill leads to promotion and opportunity. People who intentionally educate themselves about how to make money ethically and wisely often move faster financially. God doesn't bless laziness, but He does bless preparation paired with effort. Another key part of God's financial order is living below your means. Luke 14:28 says that anyone who wants to build a tower should first sit down and count the cost. In practical terms, this means budgeting, tracking expenses, and not upgrading lifestyle every time income increases. Many people earn more but stay broke because spending rises with income. Those who build wealth often drive modest cars, invest the difference, and quietly grow their money while others try to look rich. When people ignore this foundation, they constantly feel stressed, rushed, and behind. But when they follow God's order, preparation first, growth second, peace starts replacing anxiety. Suddenly, money becomes a tool instead of a burden, and business becomes an opportunity instead of a struggle. And once this solid base is in place, something powerful begins to happen. Because many people unknowingly fall into a trap that keeps them working harder, but never truly moving forward financially. The biblical trap that keeps people working hard, but staying broke. The Bible makes something very clear. Working hard alone is not enough to build lasting wealth. Proverbs 23:4 warns, "Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Have the wisdom to show restraint." Yet today, many people believe the solution to every financial problem is simply more hours, more hustle, and more stress. They wake up early, work late, and grind nonstop, but somehow money never seems to stay. The trap is believing that income alone creates wealth, when in reality, wisdom and strategy are what transform hard work into financial freedom. In modern life, this trap looks like depending entirely on a salary without building assets. People trade time for money, but once the paycheck stops, so does the income. Ecclesiastes 10:19 says, "Money answers everything," but it doesn't say work answers everything. God's system was never designed for people to rely only on labor forever. That's why many wealthy individuals today focus on owning businesses, stocks, real estate, and income-producing assets. For example, instead of only saving from a 9-to-5 job, someone could invest in dividend-paying stocks like Coca-Cola or Johnson & Johnson, which pay money regularly just for owning shares. Another part of this trap is lifestyle inflation. As income increases, spending increases right along with it. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." In today's terms, wise people save and invest, while foolish people spend everything they earn. A raise becomes a new car, a bigger house, or more subscriptions instead of more investments. Over time, even high earners end up living paycheck to paycheck, wondering why they can't get ahead. The Bible also warns against chasing quick money. Proverbs 13:11 says, "Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it." This applies directly to modern schemes promising fast profits, day trading without knowledge, risky crypto hype, or get-rich-quick businesses. Many people lose money because they skip patience and discipline. Meanwhile, those who slowly invest in solid companies, diversified ETFs, or steady businesses quietly build wealth year after year. A practical shift out of this trap starts with asking a new question. Instead of, "How can I earn more?" ask, "How can my money work for me?" This could mean investing monthly into index funds like VTI or S&P 500 ETFs, starting a small side business, or reinvesting profits instead of spending them. It's not about quitting work overnight, but about using income as a tool to build assets that eventually replace it. Once people escape the trap of working hard without strategy, everything changes. They begin seeing money as seeds, not just spending power. Each dollar can either disappear or multiply. And when this mindset clicks, it opens the door to one of God's most powerful financial principles, the principle of multiplication. A design that has been working since biblical times and still drives wealth in today's financial markets. The power of multiplication, how God designed money to grow. From the very beginning, God established the law of multiplication. In Genesis 1:28, He commanded mankind to be fruitful and multiply. This principle was not only about population, but about everything placed under human stewardship, including money, resources, and influence. Throughout the Bible, growth comes through multiplication, not through constant exhaustion. The same law governs modern finance today through compound interest, reinvestment, and long-term investing. When people understand this, they stop chasing fast money and start building wealth patiently. Jesus illustrated this perfectly in the parable of the talents. In Matthew 25, the servants who invested what they were given multiplied it and were rewarded, while the one who buried his money out of fear lost even what he had. God praised multiplication, not hoarding. In today's world, this looks like putting money into productive assets instead of letting it sit idle in a savings account, losing value to inflation. For example, investing consistently into broad market ETFs like the S&P 500 historically allows money to grow over time, while dividend stocks like Procter & Gamble or PepsiCo generate income that can be reinvested. The beauty of multiplication is that it doesn't require massive starting capital. Even small monthly investments can grow into significant wealth. A person who invests $300 per month at an average market return over 30 years can build hundreds of thousands of dollars. This mirrors Luke 16:10, where Jesus said, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." God often grows wealth through faithfulness in small, consistent actions rather than huge, one-time moves. Business also operates under this same principle. Instead of working endlessly for every dollar, wise entrepreneurs build systems that multiply income. This could mean creating digital products, building online stores, investing in franchises, or owning rental properties. The Bible shows this through Joseph in Egypt, who stored grain wisely during years of abundance and multiplied resources during famine. Genesis 41. He didn't just work harder, he managed strategically. Another powerful modern example of multiplication is reinvesting profits instead of spending them. When dividends, business profits, or side hustle income are reinvested back into assets, growth accelerates dramatically. This is how many wealthy families quietly build fortune over decades. They let money work, grow, and reproduce instead of constantly withdrawing it for lifestyle upgrades. Once people experience the power of multiplication, their relationship with money changes completely. They stop seeing wealth as something that only comes from endless labor and begin partnering with God's design for growth. And when multiplication starts working in their finances, it naturally leads to another major shift, moving from depending only on income to owning assets that produce wealth continuously. From salary to assets, the biblical shift. From earning to owning. One of the biggest financial awakenings in both scripture and modern wealth building is the transition from merely earning money to owning productive assets. Proverbs 13:22 says, "A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children." That doesn't happen through salary alone, it happens through ownership. In biblical times, wealth was often measured by land, livestock, businesses, and resources that produced continuously. Today, those assets look like stocks, businesses, real estate, and investments that generate cash flow long after the work is done. Most people today depend entirely on a paycheck, which means their income is limited by time and energy. Once they stop working, the money stops flowing. But those who own assets experience a different reality. For example, owning shares of companies like Amazon, Google, or dividend-paying stocks means earning money as those businesses grow and distribute profits. Owning rental properties creates monthly income without clocking in every day. This reflects Ecclesiastes 5:19, where God speaks about enjoying the fruit of one's labor, not just the labor itself. The Bible consistently shows wealthy individuals as owners, not just workers. Abraham owned vast herds and land. Job controlled enormous resources and enterprises. These were ancient forms of business empires. They didn't rely solely on daily labor. They built systems that produced wealth. In today's world, this could be as simple as building an online business, investing in index funds, or acquiring assets that grow with the economy. A practical way for someone to start this shift is by allocating part of every paycheck toward assets. For example, automatically investing 15-20% of income into diversified ETFs like total market funds, or using profits from a side hustle to buy dividend stocks. Over time, these assets begin generating income of their own. The goal is not instant freedom, but steady progress toward financial independence. Another powerful modern tool is entrepreneurship. Starting a small business, whether it's e-commerce, consulting, digital products, or service-based companies, allows income to scale beyond hours worked. Proverbs 14:23 says, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." When hard work is paired with ownership, profits multiply faster and last longer. Once people begin shifting from salary dependence to asset ownership, they unlock a new level of financial control. Money starts flowing from multiple sources instead of just one. And as assets grow, a deeper biblical principle becomes essential: stewardship, because how someone manages what God entrusts determines how much more they can receive. Stewardship, how managing God's money unlocks more wealth. The Bible teaches that everything ultimately belongs to God and people are simply stewards of what He entrusts to them. Psalm 24:1 says, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it." This mindset alone transforms how someone approaches money, business, and the way they make money. When people stop seeing finances as purely theirs and begin managing them as a responsibility given by God, discipline naturally increases. Stewardship is not about restriction. It's about alignment with God's principles so that resources can grow and be used wisely. Jesus emphasized stewardship constantly, especially in His parables. In Luke 16, He taught that those who are faithful with little will be trusted with much. In modern life, this means managing budgets carefully, tracking expenses, and intentionally directing money toward growth instead of waste. For example, someone who reviews their monthly spending might realize hundreds of dollars are going toward subscriptions, eating out, or impulse purchases. Redirecting even $300 of that into investments or a small business can drastically change long-term wealth. Stewardship also includes planning and intentionality. Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Wealth rarely comes accidentally." People who succeed financially often set clear goals, like becoming debt-free in 3 years, investing a certain amount monthly, or growing a business to replace their income. Tools like budgeting apps, automatic investments, and business reinvestment strategies help keep progress consistent. Another biblical aspect of stewardship is avoiding unnecessary debt. Proverbs 22:7 warns that the borrower is servant to the lender. High-interest debt, especially credit cards and consumer loans, silently drains money that could be multiplying through investments. Paying off a credit card charging 20% interest is often a better financial return than most investments. Once freed from that burden, cash flow increases and can be redirected toward building assets. Stewardship also involves generosity, which surprisingly connects directly to financial increase. Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it will be given to you." Many successful entrepreneurs and investors practice intentional giving because it cultivates gratitude, discipline, and a long-term mindset. It's not about manipulation, but about aligning the heart with God's values while managing money wisely. When people master stewardship, they create space for greater financial growth. Resources stop slipping through their fingers and begin flowing with purpose. And once management is under control, God's design naturally moves toward something bigger, building wealth, not just for personal comfort, but for future generations and lasting impact. Legacy. Wealth. The biblical way to build for generations. God never designed wealth to stop with one person. Throughout Scripture, prosperity is consistently connected to generations. Proverbs 13:22 teaches, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." This shows that biblical wealth is not just about personal comfort, but about building systems, assets, and values that bless future generations. In today's terms, that means creating investments, businesses, and financial structures that continue producing money long after someone is gone. In biblical times, families passed down land, livestock, businesses, and knowledge. These were income-producing assets. Today, that legacy can look like investment portfolios, real estate properties, family businesses, or even trusts and college funds. For example, consistently investing in diversified index funds over decades can provide financial security not only for retirement but also for children and grandchildren. Teaching kids about money early, saving, investing, and entrepreneurship multiplies the impact far beyond one lifetime. The Bible also highlights the power of wisdom being transferred alongside wealth. Deuteronomy 6 emphasizes teaching children daily principles that guide life. Financially, this could mean involving kids in simple budgeting, showing them how investments grow, or helping them start small businesses like online stores or service projects. A child who learns to invest $50 a month early will likely outperform an adult who starts late with thousands. Modern wealthy families often follow this biblical model intentionally. They build asset portfolios that generate passive income, reinvest profits, and protect wealth through smart planning. They don't just leave cash, they leave systems that produce. For example, rental properties can provide steady income for decades, while dividend-paying stocks continue generating money year after year. Another powerful aspect of legacy wealth is impact. Wealth in the Bible was often used to bless communities, fund temples, support the poor, and advance God's work. Today, this could mean supporting ministries, launching scholarships, investing in ethical businesses, or creating foundations. When money is aligned with purpose, it becomes far more than numbers on a screen. When people begin thinking generationally instead of monthly, their financial decisions change completely. They stop chasing quick pleasure and start building lasting value. And this generational mindset ties all biblical financial principles together: foundation, wisdom, multiplication, ownership, and stewardship, into a complete system designed by God for true financial freedom. Everything you've seen here isn't just ancient wisdom. It's a living financial system that still works in today's world of money, business, and opportunities to make money. God's principles were never meant to keep people struggling. They were designed to bring order, growth, and freedom. The foundation, the escape from the hard work trap, the power of multiplication, the shift into ownership, stewardship, and generational wealth all point to one truth. When finances align with God's wisdom, prosperity follows naturally. Now the real question becomes, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep working harder without strategy? Or will you begin building assets that grow while you sleep? Will you continue letting money slip through your fingers? Or will you manage it intentionally as a steward of what God has given you? Imagine where your life could be 5, 10, or 20 years from now if you applied even one of these principles starting today. Start small if you need to. Build your emergency fund. Invest consistently. Learn about business. Shift from just earning to owning. Teach your family these principles. The Bible shows again and again that those who act with wisdom are the ones who experience lasting abundance. Write in the comments, "My money grows with God's wisdom," and watch how this powerful declaration begins to shift the course of your business and your finances from this day forward. And if this message challenged you, inspired you, or opened your eyes in any way, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can continue learning how God's wisdom connects with money, business, and financial freedom every single week.